Okay, now let's look at the AWS Control Tower. So it's an easy way to set up and govern a secure and compliance multi-accounts AWS environments based on the best practices. So out of it, you are going to get your environment automated in just a few clicks. You are going to have ongoing policy management using guardrails, and we see this in the next. We've seen this on few next lectures. This lecture, and we are going to detect policy violations and them automatically, and we can monitor your compliance through an interactive dashboard. So Control Tower is a way for you to really automate best practice multi-accounts, and it runs on top of AWS organizations. So it's going to set up an organization for you and then organize these accounts and implement automatically the AWS service control policy that you need. So out of it, there is the account factory, and it is to automate the account provisioning and deployments, and it allows you to create pre-approved baseline and configuration options for all the accounts in your organization, such as, for example, configuring the default VPC, configuring the subnets, the regions, and so on. And to do so is going to use the underlying series called the AWS Service Catalog to provision these new accounts. So let's have a look in where an account feature will be very helpful. So we have a cloud computing environments, and we have a data center with an ADFS and an Active Directory. And now we are going to establish a VPN or direct connection between the cloud and the corporate data center. And so therefore in the control tower landing zone that we create through the account factory, we are going to have an SSO directory that is linked directly to the AD connector, and that has a two-way trust with directory federation services. And therefore what's going to happen is that any member's account that we provision as part of this landing zone, we can configure them automatically and make sure that they all leverage the SSO authentication from the learning fact and the landings on itself. So that it means that all the accounts will be coming properly configured thanks to the control tower here for compliance. So now there's another thing with the control tower called guardrails. So this is used to detect and remediate policy violations. So it's going to give you ongoing governance, and then you have two kinds of guardrails. You have preventive guardrails where you use SCPs, and this is, for example, to have an action to disable or disallow the creation of access keys from the root user. That's one way. Or detective, that's one way, or a detective where you want to give permission to your accounts, but then you use config to detect, for example, whether or not MFA is enabled for the root user and so on. And the config will be very helpful because it gives you the compliance or non-compliance of resources. And so here's an example. For example, we want to see which resources are untagged. So we have a detective guardrail in control tower using config, and it's going to monitor for untagged resources in your members account as part of your organization, and is going to trigger if it's non-compliant and SNS topic, which can notify admin, maybe invoke function, and that linear function itself can remediate to this and add tags where needed. So okay, so let's say for the control tower, I hope that's helpful, and I will see you in the next lecture.